Hello, everyone. My name's Wyatt. Um, have you ever wondered, you know, Sly Cooper, Magic the Gathering, how well that would work? No? I did. So you know what I did? I created a tier list. So we're gonna go to that right now, okay? So I put a tier list together of every single color combination in Magic the Gathering. All the main heroes and villains in Sly Cooper. We're not doing mini bosses or any other, just the main ones, and I'll explain some as we go. And I thought it'd be fun to at least try and figure out what each character combination would be. Because I'm just saying, Magic the Gathering's been going kind of interesting lately. I mean, they put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in, right? You got all your Marvel stuff coming out. Sly Cooper, man, it's got to get some more focus. Lock in. So today, I just kind of want to go over that and kind of just see what happens. So yeah, there we go. First up, Sly Cooper. I feel like of all the main characters, he kind of fits in a few different things. I think I was trying to go over this in my head because he can't be in like white or black respectively because he does steal from villains, but at the same time, he himself is a thief, right? So it's got to be a mix of both. He doesn't have the hatred for red. He's not really green. It's not really blue. So in that case, it's going into Orzhov. Um, I really didn't know where else to put him. At first, I was trying to think of like, is he blue? Right? He doesn't really have the brains. That all goes to Bentley. He doesn't have red, right? I mean, we'll get to a little bit later, but like that energy of red, uh, I don't feel like fits Slidey, right? He's a much more calm person, and especially when you think about like the Slide 2 opening, right? It's Bentley's first thing, so kind of like stressed. And Sly's out there just having fun, making fun of it. He doesn't really care. So I think best case, Orzhov, Sly Cooper also matches, white and black for the raccoon. I feel like that's perfect. And we'll go to Bentley. Okay, we know he's absolutely blue. He's a turtle. Is he mono blue? Hmm. I really need to think about this more. It's either that or he's Simic. We're gonna go Simic. Um, Partially because he's green, I want to be honest, but he's also very nice, especially when you look at Sly 4 and how he treats Carmelita. We'll get to here shortly, but yeah, no, he's Simic, I think. Could argue mono blue, but I'm gonna put him in Simic for now because good enough. The Murray. Um, okay, we know he's red. Honestly, this dude falls for a lot of stuff. Uh, he's not blue. He's not white. He's not black. I think he's red green. I think he's Gruul. I think he's gonna go in Gruul. Um, yeah, I think Gruul's the best spot, right? Kind of that same thing as Bentley, if like very polite person, right? Bentley, but stuff with Penelope as well. Murray just again falling for lollipop, jelly beans, right? When Carmelita gets him in the prison in Jean Basson's level, Sly 2, he's just a happy guy, right? He goes on his entire meditation, so I did think, maybe if you wanted to count that as like a extra card, right? Maybe a secondary Murray card, you could probably find like a good reason to put him in Naya. But for right now, I'm gonna leave him in Gruul and go to Carmelita. Mono white. Plain simple. I think, maybe there's some red there if you wanted to count it. Um, but I really don't know if I would put her in Boros. I think, especially towards Sly 4, when she starts, even at the end of Sly 3, right? She starts dating Sly, so like that hatred isn't there. She's committed to her job. Um, she's not really outsmarting the gang. She's always a step behind. Not green, not black. Yeah, Mono white for Carmelita. Now we kind of get into the bosses. The Fiendish Five. Starting off with Sir Raleigh the Frog. He's Demir. Where is Demir? It talks about like his backstory. He grew up with money. He's again part of the right. None of them are ever going to be white in the Fiendish Five for the villains. Well, he himself is a frog. He's not really green. He makes an entire weather balloon just to try to control that so he can shipwreck more stuff. But again, with the rain, with his entire boss fight being above water, and kind of just on those little platforms, I think as an engineer, I think, you know, Demir's probably the best spot. Next, we got a mugshot. This dude is Rakdos. Where is it? Right there. Again, not close. You're going to see, I think, a lot of these villains here kind of just all fall into different spots in the black category, but anger issues, love the guns, but just yeah, I don't need to go much further than that. Then we go to Ms. Ruby. Just gonna go again into another black Golgari. Oh, Golgari. Lives in the swamp of Haiti. Deals with voodoo and bringing back up the dead. I don't think I need to say much more. But yeah. Shout out Ms. Ruby, your boss fight was awful. The Panda King. Okay, so you for sure have red. For sure. I think you're gonna actually be a 3 color. As much as I want to put you in Izzet, I mean, Ice Mountain, you're not really. Yeah, you're gonna go in Izzet. Oh, I thought about putting him somewhere else, but the hatred, especially with Slide 3 being gone, calmer, and again, in that same sense of like, you know, the Murray having his spiritual side. Maybe you could have different versions, different cards, but I think having him in Izzet, it kind of just, you know, it'll equal out. You know, is it perfect? No, but he deals with fireworks. I mean, that's Spellslinger right there. That is Spellslinger. It's fine. It's perfect. Honestly, kind of happy with this so far. Little bit surprised. I thought this would be a lot worse. Clockwork. You're red. You're black. You're blue. You're not green at all, and you're not white at all. So red, black, blue. You're Jeskai. Where is Jeskai? Or not Jeskai. Grixis. Why did I say Jeskai? Grixis. Right. I mean, able to control all of them. I think black, green. Yeah, it's fine for the most part. Right. It's the evil. It's the hatred. Living in a volcano. Entire thing is hatred, which is what made him invincible. Yeah, I mean, we ball. We ball. We ball. Simple respects. Yeah, is that really all of slime? That is all of slime one. Interesting. Okay, sure. We will. There's a lot of these I am not going to use. Holy. Okay. And next up, Neela. You backstab? That's a red. You're kind of an idiot, though. I mean, for a little bit you work with Interpol, you ended up backstabbing him. You know? Yeah. No, I'll put you in Boros. I mean, you worked in Interpol. You just ended up backstabbing everybody. Yeah, and again with the right backstab Sly, backstab Carmelita, backstab the Contessa, Birdu, Arpeggio. Right, I mean, I feel like that's kind of we do. Also, I've ordered these in the order of where you see them, so because she's here in the pre-level. She's here before Dimitri. But yeah, so then we have Dimitri. Red man, you're mono green. You literally were just trying to print money. And well, he did control the drugs. I mean, you look at like some of like Kentessa using the eyes for hypnosis, Rajan using them for, the spices and making sure that they grow. This dude was just trying to make money. This dude's only focus was money, and I vibe with it. He's mono green, no doubt about it. Rajan, just mentioned spices, drugs. Okay, he'll be in the red, and that'll be where he stays. Yeah, I really don't see the black, the blue, or the green form or white form. Again, I thought about Gruel because he likes to show up the wings, but I feel like especially would Gruel be better because his levels also second levels in the jungle. He deals with spices, but as I look at where I want to put the others, I don't know. I think trying to like get as many of these categories as possible. We can argue about it in the comments, talk, whatever. I'm gonna leave them in mono red for right now and go from there. Speaking of those mono colors, the Contessa is not one. In fact, I have her as a 3-color. Sumi. Okay? She is white, blue, and black. Where's Esper? Right there. Okay. Well, she is a corrupt cop. She's still a cop. She's a frickin' spider. Which I did also think about putting Golgari. Or, not Golgari, but the extra green for me, 4-color, but she doesn't. I mean, her 2 levels, one of them's about a crypt and her castle, the other one's at the prison itself. So she wasn't going to go in green. Red, thought about it, but I feel like Esper, using the eyes for hypnosis, especially, kind of the corruption, killing her husband just a few weeks after they get married, just trying to take over his estate. Hypnosis, right? She's very smart. I did also think about putting her in Orzhov, but she and Sly are just in the sense of like hypnosis and using technology versus I have a cane and I guess yeah, that's a Banaki count, but yeah, no, we're going Esper for her. Jean Besson. Frozen in ice. Cares nothing for anything but money, in the same way as Dimitri. Uses his arts and stuff just to distribute everything. But man, I don't know. And again, like I think about like what Sly said and some of those things of like they viewed him as a hero back in his day, right? For taming the North, right? But I mean, I don't really know if I'd put him anywhere else outside of Mono Green. It's just a matter of do him and Dimitri feel the same to me. Dimitri's kind of just him because he prints money and deals his spices in the nightclub. Whereas he makes money by selling stuff and does his spices in Canada. Yeah, no, Jean Basson's gonna stay mono green. I'm gonna leave him in mono green. Arpeggio, you're mono blue, there's no doubt about it. You're smart, you're pointless everywhere else. You do nothing in the story. You talk to Jean Basson for a little bit. You talk to Nilo, and then she immediately betrays you. You do nothing, and she becomes Clockwork. It's so stupid. You are mono blue. It's mono blue can get. That's it. Speaking of which, Clockwork. I did think about making Neela her own thing. Um, and just leaving it as white and red. But in this, I think, at least for me, Clock was everything but white. I'm gonna put her in Glentie. Also have the interesting eyes, but Clockwork itself was Grixis. You're basically just adding. No, no, I don't have her in green. I have her in white and red. I don't honestly know. I don't know why I was. I'm not gonna. I don't think there's any white or green technologies there. Are you the same as Clockwork? You're just so much more ancient. You'd be like primarily red. Man, sorry to know that. We do have some construction going on the house right now. Just trying to figure out where the hell do I put They're Grixis. Honestly, you know what I'm gonna do? Is I'm gonna say this is another Clockwork type card, the same way that you'd have your Murray or your Panicking different. You're just your Clockwork just with a different. I don't know. Even your hate's the same. I never understood what like. They never really went through motives. Is that it for Sly 2? Yep. Well, you know, these won't be used, but it's fine. Dr. M, the Monkey Man. Clearly blue. Clearly red. Past that? Honestly, I think you're just and here's what I'm gonna say is you have the white for the technology. I mean, he's using drills, everything he creates, right? I also could put him in Salt Hybrid, the blue, red, green, but I think all the different things he creates feel like makes me think white artifacts, all that kind of stuff, and then he just mix it with the white blue technology basically, and yeah, hatred, trying to just get in that slide vault. I got Don Octavio, a dude who just wants to sing and is a leader of a mob. It's like Crankle Mob Boss, just with singing. Yeah. Yeah. The Mask of Dark Earth. I don't know what to do. I think you're going to be a colorless artifact. Oh, no. Yeah, I think you'd be like a artifact. Honestly, this was a weird one to put. I think this would be a legendary artifact in the same way like the Thievius Raccoonus could be. But because it's a boss, technically, right, maybe it's like an artifact creature. Maybe it's a living weapon. That's what I'll say. It's a living weapon. It's a colorless living weapon. That's what it's going to be. Because I don't know what else to do with it. It's technically a boss. But God, that Australian level was so bad. You do get the guru. Mr. Spiritual. Celestia. You know, he doesn't really attack. He's all about, doing that stuff. And I feel like white green, the meditation side of it. So I feel like a pretty decent spot to keep him, right? He's not anywhere else, but I feel like, that's the best where I can put him. Another thing I did is I did separate Penelope and Black Baron / Black Knight, which we'll get to, but I really didn't know what to do with her either in the same way of some of these others. And so Black Baron, flying, doesn't really do much else, just leads that and lets everything else kind of just happen. I'm gonna go mono white. Right? I mean, in terms of everything, it's not like it's crime. Right? I mean, it's holding a dogfighting tournament. Whatever happens, not his problem. her problem technically, but in this case, his problem. Um, yeah, I think mono white. It's different than Carmelita's, like, drive of being good, but Penelope, aka the Black Baron and the Black Knight, you're red for sure. Because you're a backstabbing little bitch. Fuck you. Anything else? Yeah, I think you're right. Where is it? Where's white red? Morals right there. Honestly, you feel a lot like Neela, just technology, whereas Neela was like the cop side of it. Like, I feel like that's the best way I can describe it. So that's gonna be good enough for me. We ball. I also noticing there's all the ads on my screen. You guys can see that. I'm sorry. I don't have ad blocker. I'm not gonna get an ad blocker. I'm too lazy. General Sao. Most misogynistic villain of this entire series. Gruel. You're Gruel for that. You are absolutely Gruel. You're the opposite of Murray. Murray is strong, right? He's red-green for the fact of, like, being with nature at some point and just being a shit up. You are all about battling and fighting shit. You're just an asshole. And honestly, that's Gruel's color scheme. Gruel is just being an asshole. I'm sorry, Murray. You're a different kind of Gruel than Jonas, but he's just an asshole. Just crazy villain. Lafouille, I really want to put you in Grixis because you're a pirate. Instead, I'm going to put you in Demir. Okay? Honestly, Raleigh's also a pirate, so this is fine. But you've got nothing. Like, you're just there, man. You're just there. I honestly could probably put you mono blue, but it's just as a villain, your entire thing is just taking Penelope, and that's it. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? She's a rat. Then it gets back to Doctor after that, but like, I did not use any of these, which, you know what? It is what it is. Going into the last Sly game, these in time. Starting off with El Jefe. Where would I put El Jefe? Dude controls fire, so that's red. Staying over multiple countries. Do I want him in just pure red, or is he more? I don't know. I mean, he feels Rakdos to me. He feels a lot like Mugshot, where he's just there to just do his own thing, take damage. We'll kind of get to someone else here in a half second that is very similar to this. It's just kind of how it worked out, but he's a 4 higher person. You know who else was? As I mentioned, oh well, I guess I actually have Ryuichi first. You're also gonna notice I put all Sly's ancestors in Orzhov. I just end up moving some other stuff around for him. In this case, Esper. Yeah, all of Sly's ancestors to me go Orzhov with Sly, but then have their own added color. I think that's just the best way I can do it. Like, I don't know where else to put them, right? Because they're not all gonna be, that. But I feel like that's a good way to do it. Then I'll also go over some stuff towards the end of this, once I finish the tier list of where I think some other things could be, or some added stuff for Magic. Because I think that'd be fun. Why not, right? I got plenty of time for it. Okay, next up, as I was gonna actually go over, was Toothpick, who I think feels eerily similar to these two. He was a gangster. He really didn't do much. No? And his entire thing, though, is just getting big. The bro just grows when he gets angry. So there's part of me that wanted to put him in the grow category because he just grows, right? It's the trample type. Rakdos, but he's not ever going to be a 3-color. Honestly, I ended up just going with mono red. He turns red. He's a gangster. He doesn't really have any super big negatives, though. I mean, he put a dude in jail and then stole his gold for Tennessee Kid, right? That was his thing. Was just taking money. There was not much else past that. So I think just mono red is all I can do for it. In turn, Tennessee Kid Cooper. White, black, and red. Mardu. Um, very confident. Right, again, he's still a Cooper, but I think he's, you could put him the fact that he uses guns, right, differently, and you could maybe put something else, but I didn't really know where else to put him. I mean, that's just, I think that's just the best spot for him for right now, right? Again, it's the Wild West, and that's about it. The Grizz. The Grizz. Yeah, Grizz. Man, Grizz is such a bad villain. Where would he be? I mean, he likes to ice skate. Honestly, there's like, his entire thing is about like just making money. Very selfish person, whatever. His entire battle is just him on ice skates, and it is so unbelievably just like, what are we doing? It's not blue. It's not white. It's not black. It's not red. It's not green. It's not colorless. It's got to be something for Grizz. Where do you put a dude who's got holes in his pants? Just walks around. God, he doesn't deserve anything else than a single color, I'm gonna be honest with you. He's going in green. I don't know where else to put him. I'm not gonna keep putting. He's going in green. We're gonna just ignore it for now. Good enough. Bob. White, black, green. Absent. In that same sense, right? He's a little bit mindless, He likes his food, he eats the communication device with Dimitri, right? He's trying to eat that or just whatever. He's kind of just chill. Bro's just happy. As much as I thought about just putting him in Selesnya, I'm still a member of the Sly family, so he's yeah. It's Orzhov plus a color. So Abzan it is, because we both. Penelope's second personality, the Black Knight. I like the idea of Demir. I think, Orzhov could also work. And I think that's where I'm going to end up putting is Orzhov. Again, the evil, right? You have the red side to take away from whatever backstabbing. But at this point, I think the technology and that kind of stuff, right, taking over, it really just does feel Orzhov. Like just kind of that. I don't, it's not. It's evil. Don't get me wrong, it's bad, but it's not criminal. They made the dude in the circus, right? The rest of them had their Sly ancestors in cages, right, for Ryoichi, under a net with a bunch of guards watching him for Bob, in a prison for Tennessee Kid, and Door just in a circus. It wasn't the end of the world for Sir Galeth here. So I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's not great. It's fine. Sir Galeth, every color you could be. White, black, and do I feel like here, here, or here? I think you're gonna go there. Again, the hatred for that, very honorable, very noble, but also kind of an oddball. Very trigger happy, we'll say, right? Is you gotta have all of them try to keep him from climbing out the window. He does go save Carmelita, try to, but uh, it is what it is. Or no, does Carmelita go and save him? What? Who ends up doing what in that dragon fight? Carmelita ends up killing it. I'm trying to think if he went to go save her. I think. Dude, it's been a while since I've played this. Last three here, eh? Miss Decibel. You're going to mono blue. You're just sad. You got screwed. You hypnotize people literally in the same way that Contessa uses the hypnotic eyes, but you're not a cop. You're not like a relatively evil like sense of like prison and all that stuff. You just it's hypnosis to try to get people to spill where the money is. You're going in mono blue. God, I didn't use a mono black. Not yet, at least. Celine Alcabar. Pretty lazy, all considering, but he's also old. You know what? You're not really Mardu. You're more kind of like Bob. You're just kind of lazy. You're just there to chill. Your skill to slow down time is actually pretty cool though. So I'm gonna put you in Esper instead. Um, so yeah, I mean, the slowing time thing's pretty cool. But past no, that's just Sly's costume, isn't it? That's Sly's costume that slows down time. You're sticking there. Final answer. And the paradox. You're very smart. Smarter than these two, for sure. You do definitely have black and blue there. There's red, right? The hatred for Sly's family. But in my sense, like I think about what he's done and the money he has, and I kind of want to put him in green. I also don't want him to be the same as Clockla. I feel like that's not fair to them. Control Rats. I want to put you in Teamer. You got the money. You got the hatred. Yeah, I really don't know why I can just delete all these, but I do want to talk about some other things while I delete these for characters that I think would have been, not even just characters, well, some, but things I considered putting on here. I did mention Galeth going to save Carmelita from the dragon. The metallic moat dragon, whatever it is. I feel like that could be a card, as well as the dragon that what's his nuts? General Sal controls, right? I mean, you could have a couple of those mini bosses type of a thing. I feel like would be a fair way to do it. And I think in that case, for that river dragon, the moat dragon, it's technology, right? It's fire. It probably goes. I mean, I'm thinking, is it? I'm thinking USA, baby. Yeah, probably Jessica, I think. And I think, again, same thing with Dr. M's creations, right? They're all some form of white, blue, and red, or some combination of two, if not all three. You could honestly probably put green in there as well, but um, I think in that sense of like that, or in General Styles Dragon, right? You put it red, blue, red, blue, green, just to try to like keep, hey, it's protecting the land, whatever. But I think those could be some other options to put on here. Um, Trying to think of what else could you have put. Maybe the three mini bosses in Australia of like the people that got taken over by the mask. Same thing with like maybe you could even put Carmelita on there as well. You could put a vehicle in that truck. Right, maybe you put in some other minor creatures like scorpions. Maybe that's what your mono black is. Some of those like the giant scorpions from the Australia level. Maybe you have like certain guards or like the monsters from Miss Ruby that are grass. The tree monster basically. I don't know how to describe it, but I think if you use some of those smaller characters, like the few guards they have for each thing, honestly, that'd be a good way to kind of fill out the rest of this, right? Like, let's just take Raleigh's like those light guards, flashlight guards, right? The squids, right? Those could just be a mono blue type of thing. And I think that'd be a good way to go about it. You could use the van as the vehicle. Maybe the airship for Arpeggio, right? Maybe that's something. Um, I'm just trying to think of like what it could be. But honestly, I think Sly Cooper could really be a better Magic set than people give credit. Now, would it be good? But it'd be better than Marvel. It'd be better than Spider-Man. It'd be better than Teenage. It'd probably be on par with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's be real. No, I think it'd be somewhere between like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Avatar. Like it wouldn't be great, but it wouldn't be the worst. It'd be near it, but it wouldn't be the worst. And I think honestly that'd be good enough for me. Like I don't know how else to describe it. I think it'd just be fun, right? Maybe you have the giant ruby, that Rajan that you sell, um, for the was it Cherry Bomb 5000, um, or the Cherry Bomb 5000 to get the ruby. I don't remember which one it is. Something like that. Maybe you have the different right weapons, right? The different canes could be equipment, right? Maybe the shock pistols could be an equipment, or something where maybe Carmelita when she attacks, you tap, right? Something with a stun counter. I feel like that would be like a very easy way to go about it. I think, Bentley, right? Maybe you have a normal like slide 1, slide 2 version, and here's slide 3, slide 4 that's in the wheelchair, and maybe, um, you know, you have sleep darts on something that should allow you to. I'm trying to think, man. You've got fireworks here, right? I mean, you've got guns, swords, bringing back up the dead. I think you've got so many opportunities in the Sly franchise. Right, and again, with the Thievius Raccoonus or, a lot of the Sly, or something different Sly. And I really wish we would have gone and gotten that DLC in Sly 4. That would have just made it so much better of him getting out, right? Kind of just figure out that stuff. I think that would have been fun. Maybe the Monaco level could have been good, but overall, I mean, I think Sly and Magic the Gathering works better than people give it credit for. And by give it credit for, I mean the fact that I am probably the only person who's thought of this and is, yeah, also going to make a tier list out of it because I have no other way. But if you want to debate it, if you want to have any recommendations, please let me know down in the comments or wherever. But I think it'd be fun, just kind of see where you guys differ and what recommendations or what other things you thought of. If you can, do that, I think that'd be fun and just kind of enjoy the different ideas of what Magic could go with, right? And hopefully, eventually, we'll get a Sly 5. If you want me to do another tier list or something else with Sly Cooper or just Magic or any other game, I'm more than down. But yeah, that was fun. So, see ya.